Oh, yes. Hey, hello, and welcome. Happy spring, right? Or happy tornado season if you're out here in Middle Tennessee with me. You know what I'm saying? We've been dodging them all week. Hey, but I tell you what, it's not going to stop the content. It's not going to stop us talking about wrestling. And as we talk about wrestling, we're going to talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world because WrestleMania season is already in the thick of it. That's how I like to be, by the way. And we got predictions, we got rumor, innuendo, we got confirmation, we got surprise, we got takes because this is the first Black Champ podcast, and I am still your podcast Intercontinental Champion, Camp from the Port.
And excuse my voice, ladies and gentlemen, but I am JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download, wherever you get your favorite podcast. Barbershop Network is the home. Click the link in our bio. Get the merch. You see Camp holding 2 belts, one on his hand and one on his chest.
Tough guy.
You already know. So let's get this started. Look, great show prepared for you today. Again, excuse my voice because my voice was leaving me yesterday. And then last night, I decided to go hard with the Don Julio and Don Fulano Neho.
There you go.
Gonna have to have a conversation.
And I'm guessing 2 to 4 steak tacos as well.
No.
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 Okay.
So first off, let me say happy birthday to my goddaughter.
Okay, yeah, happy
my
birthday.
goddaughter Cora. Happy 8th birthday. It was cold yesterday. Didn't realize it was going to be as cold as it was. So my dumb ass went outside with just a hoodie on to watch a girls' soccer game and everything. So my voice was already going. And then we outside. It's cold outside. It's a girls' soccer game. We go back. And just like any birthday party, kitty birthday party, y'all going to have y'all pop. We going to have our drinks. But it wasn't no tacos. It was pizza.
Okay. That is nuts.
Hey, I can't even laugh like that.
Oh,
I can't even laugh like that because my ribs is hurting right now. My whole body hurting. And I have no idea why. Like, I don't know if somebody whooped my ass while I was asleep, but man, I feel like I got jumped into a gang. Like, I feel like somebody jumped me in the GDs. Like, I don't know what's going on with my body right now. I am sore. But on our last show, we talked about doing a all-white bracket.
Yes,
of white wrestlers we love.
That's true.
Because we slowly realized the lack of Black wrestlers that we've just been seeing. We and actually it came back up this week. I can't remember the podcast, but they talked about how the WWE has embraced hip hop. But you can't tell by looking at the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you got Bianca Belair, you got the Street Profits in prime spots. You got Mello, who's there with the Miz.
Yeah.
We haven't seen R-Truth on TV.
No.
But do we?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's always there, even when he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's like the omnipresent Black wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I tried to go on AI to try to pick 64 white wrestlers.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen because AI is hilarious, y'all. It is. Sometimes it's very hilarious. And in this case, it is. So I'm sharing my screen. Shouts out to Jasper.ai. This is the joint that I use.
Okay. Jasper,
I say,
get those coons. Okay.
Well, Jasper didn't want to do what I asked. I said, put together a March Madness bracket for best white wrestlers in the 80s and 90s. And Jasper has said, I can't help with that.
Jasper, you're white enough to know this. You should help.
So I said, put together March Madness bracket with the best wrestlers in the 80s and 90s. All right, let's create. So at first they gave me, 32, excuse me, 16. But then, no, let's go all out. So this is the reveal. And we're going to go through this to see if people fucks with this list.
Okay.
So let's start with the legends of the 80s. Now,
let's do it.
Jasper did this, not Bang. They even selected the regions, not Bang.
Oh, okay.
So the number one seed in the legends of the 80s, unfortunately, but I mean, you can't deny it, is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Come on.
Ric Flair,
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, Ric Flair at number 2, Macho Man. Number 3, Andre the Giant. They roll out the top 4. Then you have Dusty Rhodes, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Jimmy Snuka, Harley Race, Big John Studd, Bob Backlund, the Honky Tonk Man, Don Morocco, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and rounding up the top 16 in the 80s, Tito Santana. Your thoughts?
Tito. I mean, hey, I guess y'all won this round, right? Oh, Greg the Hammer is in there. I don't remember. I don't want to make you string your voice again, but was Paul Orndorff in there?
No.
See, and Paul Orndorff would have been in there for me over Greg the Hammer Valentine. But
there you go. There you go. Disrespect to Greg the Hammer Valentine's.
You're damn right. It will not stop. Matter of fact, Stan Hansen should have been in that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Screw all that.
We do probably need a Jerome AI. That's funny. You're right, Donnie. We might need a Jerome AI. All right, so the person that you're taking off this list is Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And specifically for Paul Orndorff or for Arn Anderson, for anybody that's watching or listening. How about that?
Well,
80s.
Arn Anderson does pop up on this list.
Ah, beautiful.
But before we get to that, we're going to go to the new generation stars. Okay. New generation. Bret the Hitman Hart leading the pack with Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and the Razor Ramon rounding up the top 4. Diesel, Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Lex Luger, British Bulldog in the interesting 8-9 matchup. Sid Vicious, Tatanka, Jeff Jarrett, Bam Bam Bigelow, Marty Jannetty, Rick Martel, and Doink the Clown. I can tell you right now, it was 2 people on this list that I was like, nah, I'm straight. And definitely one of them is Marty Jannetty at number 14. Yeah. And Rick Martel at number 15. I'm thinking the Model Martel is more 80s than he is new generation star. Your thoughts?
Yeah. So you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because on one hand, yeah, Marty Jannetty should not be on here. As far as new generation stars is concerned, but Rick Martel, because he kind of had even 2 versions of being the model, so maybe that's why he counts. Like there was the model with the arrogance and the purple tights, and then it's the model with the shortcut with the pink tights. So but for me personally, anytime we can get Rick Martel in the conversation, I'm with it. So I'm going to keep him, and I'm surprised Tatanka made this list. So Jasper really knows his wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize until watching Dark Side of the Ring this week, the Ludwig Borga episode, I didn't realize Tatanka was undefeated for 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Like I was like, damn, it was 2. Shit. So Tatanka might be probably one of the most underrated wrestlers in the 90s / new generation. He just might be. Yeah. Let's go to the WCW joint.
All the way slam.
We got Sting at number 1, Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page, Vader, Lex Luger, Great Muta, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard.
Okay.
Barry Windham, Rick Rude, The Giant, Conan, Brian Pillman, Scott Steiner, Booker T, and Buff Bagwell.
Hey,
Got to buff the stuff on there.
You know what I'm saying?
Is Tully Blanchard, like, do we count NWA with WCW?
We shouldn't, but we have been. We definitely have been. We shouldn't, though. I want to be on record saying that.
Okay, because when I saw Tully pop up, I was like, huh? You
Yeah.
sure?
Because his WCW run wouldn't that. It wouldn't that.
I mean, he didn't come back to WCW, actually. When he got let go from the WWF, or when they left, he was going to return, but he failed his drug test. So technically, he never came back to wrestle.
Yeah.
I think he wrestled at like a slamboree, but that was it. And that's when he was like washed.
Yeah, hey. They I was trying to think. There was a name on there outside of Tully Blanchard that I was like, man, maybe that shouldn't be. I'm trying to think of who it was because I was literally going to say, hey, no Barry Windham, no list when we started getting into this. So I'm glad we heard Barry Windham. That's fine.
I would take Tully Blanchard out and put Raven in there.
There we go. And I wasn't thinking about Raven. I was actually thinking about Scott Steiner.
Oh, he 14.
Singles wrestling. Okay, bam. Okay, bet. Yeah, see, numbers going mad. I gotta read, y'all. I gotta read. Okay. So yeah.
So we go.
Raven for me is definitely in there.
Yeah. So we go to the Attitude Era. And of course, it's easy. Stone Cold Steve Austin at number 1. The Rock at number 2. Mick Foley, Triple H round out the top 4. Kane, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, X-Pac, the Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Goldust, Val Venus, Kid Shamrock, Al Snow, and Hardcore Holly. Are we taking anybody out of this for the Attitude Era, or did Jasper get it right?
So high key, Jasper did get this right. High key, they got it right. My thing is, can you do the Attitude Era without adding Mr. McMahon in there? You know what I mean? Like, can you really do it?
I mean, if you're gonna do that, can you do this without adding Shane in there too?
Hey,
or was that more Ruthless Aggression era?
No, that was because remember once the corporation broke down and The Rock left, it was Mr. McMahon, Shane, Gerald, and Jack, and Stephanie. Like that was it. It was the McMahon family and the Stooges. So, like, I get it because Val Venus making it. Yes, to me, the affinity for Val Venus in the Attitude Era, he's one of my favorites of that era. So I'm not ever removing him. But man, I don't know. That's the interesting thing about the Attitude Era. Star power wise, you could have 2 brackets potentially with them, and everybody would make sense.
I would remove Al Snow and put D'Lo Brown in there.
I like that. And see, this is perfect. Al Snow, D'Lo Brown. Obviously, this is a D'Lo Brown podcast, bar none, and we've been on that for 7 years now. But can you take Al Snow off with how big the head gimmick is? Pause.
Interesting debate right there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one, and I'm going to go back up here. Here's an interesting person that's missing off of this list. Where's the Ultimate Warrior fit?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that.
Because hear me out here. The Ultimate Warrior won the world title at WrestleMania 6 and that's 1990.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really put, just looking at not how popular the wrestler were,
Mm-hmm.
but just looking at career? I know we got Greg the Hammer Valentine on here, and I know your disdain for Greg the Hammer, but he is a former Intercontinental Champion
Mm-hmm.
and had great feuds in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Tito Santana, Don Morocco are all former Intercontinental Champions
Mm-hmm.
and had decent careers in the early, well, not more than decent, popular careers from the early to mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Is that enough to keep the Ultimate Warrior off of this list?
Truth be told, no, it's not. Um, yeah, it's wild to kind of have any list of the 80s without the Ultimate Warrior. But I get it though. At the same time, see, look, here's the thing where you understand it, because we were kids when the Ultimate Warrior was rocking. Maybe we look at the Ultimate Warrior gimmick differently if we are 18, 19, 20 and we're watching wrestling in the 80s, because it was like, I'm dumbfounded when we watched the doc. Matter of fact, yeah, you came to the crib, everybody. We was watching the Ultimate Warrior doc. I was dumbfounded at how many people hated the Ultimate Warrior, and like they hated the gimmick. They like, he couldn't wrestle. He was hurting people. I didn't know all of this, so I do get it under that aspect. And I mean, because hey, and you know what? Let me shoot y'all some bail. Let me give a little grace to old Greg. The Hammer was definitely a far better wrestler than the Ultimate Warrior. But hell, if you gave me the opportunity and I could kill two birds with one stone, I'd put Hillbilly Jim over there in both of them. So there you go. So the Hillbilly Jim, it's my man's. Don't go mess with a country boy. You know what I mean?
All right. So this is the bracket. Throughout the show, we are going to go through the bracket and basically give you our picks on who these people, like who should move on in all of these joints.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll let you know what happens on there. Hey, you're a fool though. I just want to let you know you're a goddamn fool.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
man, Hillbilly Jim, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to my mans.
Hey, man. All right, man. So moving on, let's go ahead and get to what happened this week in wrestling. And whoa, Girls Gone Wild a little bit. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Girls Gone Wild a little bit. This Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, this rollout for us has not been the hottest. We've put this in our Do We Care segment a number of times. And I mean, quite honestly, I don't think it was a lot for us to care about until this Friday, when shit seemed to go off the rails a bit.
Oh yeah.
In the Dare promo, where our man Wade Barrett was up there to try to make sure don't shit happen. It did.
Yeah.
It did, to the point where, first of all, let me say that we've been shitting on American crowds this year, but the one crowd we would never shit on is my hometown of Chicago, Illinois.
Yes.
Because they held it down.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, Bang's home crowd, my by way of crowd, bar none, upper echelon. Chicago is wrestling. And I like, hey, look, hey, we swagger jack. You know what I'm saying? But yet we made it our own. And we take every event to the next level. And so salute to all the Chicago wrestling fans that showed up in the building for SmackDown. Y'all did y'all shit. We appreciate it.
But we very much appreciate it, to the point where, oh yeah, we was like, yeah, this definitely rivals some of the American crowds, the non-American crowds, excuse me, that we've been seeing. With that being said, you could tell that Charlotte Flair was flustered.
Oh yeah. So for me,
Go ahead.
yeah, because I don't say I'll let your voice rest. I gotta. So for me, so obviously the last 2 weeks, or technically I think 3, right? Because they had the via satellite joint, and Charlotte got her shit off, and it was kind of like, oh, that's not a good look. However, they always give you that crowd audio with what's happening. And what Tiffy and Charlotte may not even realize until the playback is that, the crowd not messing with Charlotte, even though she bodying this, they're bodying her. and they want Tiff over. Then then the next week after, Tiff does the joint with Jackie Redmond, and the crowd with her. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I started looking at that, and I'm like, okay, maybe this was just a bad moment. But for me, I was like, I'm trying to figure out how real this is. And I guess all puns intended, right? Because we're building a storyline to WrestleMania, whatever, what have you. So then comes this past Friday at SmackDown Chicago. I ain't gonna front. Off the rip, I was worried because they damn near did look exactly alike. I like black lace. What man doesn't? They both came out with the same damn outfit on. They got the same hair. Makeup is a little different, and obviously one is holding the title. However, what we end up watching here is how bad the universe is not effing with Charlotte Flair. And to Donnie's point, even though unless you're a Packer fan, Milwaukee and Chicago, we like first cousins. So it's like, like we're close, Chicago people and Northern Illinois people, because I'm from Freeport, but Northern Illinois people and Milwaukee, we have like this relationship that's like, yeah, but y'all not like Green Bay. Like we don't fuck with Green Bay at all. Like y'all, we cool with. Like, we watch the Bucks. I know Ty Day. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those. So for that, you have this recipe for disaster. And honestly, for me, that was the temperature check, the energy check, and the storyline check. Because now for me, Bang, this ain't just a match. Now for me, and those promos that were cut, because it's different from trying to get one up and win the crowd. Tiff won the crowd as soon as Charlotte grabbed the mic. So then this became Brett and Sean for me. Then this became Matt and Adam for me. Mm-hmm. And now I want to know where this really stems from. Because it can't, well, I don't know, because they're women. But I don't want to just assume that the fact that Tiffany Stratton has been successful since Charlotte's been out is her real beef with her. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe it's just that. It's got to be something else. Because this seems to be everything that Charlotte Becky was. And wildly enough, even though she didn't really like bar it up, Tiffany Stratton was calling back to that. She was like, hey, look, this is kind of your shit. Once another woman in this space gets popping doing their thing, here you come, trying to ruin it. And she didn't make horsewoman reference or anything like that, but there is something to be said about Charlotte and the 4 horsewomen and how that all broken down with specifically her and Becky, because Becky was clear, like, no, I don't fuck with her no more. No, we're not friends at all. Never bring her up again to me. and it seems like this is already getting to that. And for all things considered, outside of that moment on NXT, they don't really know each other.
Well, when you bring up people's divorces,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the clincher last night when Tiffany Stratton said that Charlotte Flair was 0 for 3 outside of the ring, and then dropped the mic and rolled out. And then Charlotte said, "So why is Kaiser in my DMs?"
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You gotta prove that. Sorry. That's not something that you just say. You gotta prove that.
Yeah, you gotta prove that. But you could tell that Charlotte was very flustered when it came to last night, the Chicago crowd. And she didn't know where Tiffany was gonna go. So she was like, hold on. So do we now care about this match?
Only if it gets very stiff. That's what she said. And I say that because we got one more week of promos, because WrestleMania is the 19th. This next coming will be like the 12th, I think, 11 to 12.
Yep.
So we got one more week. For me, what I want to see is this. I want to see the line in the sand. Yo, this really a match, or were we just trying to draw in straws to make y'all care? And because now I don't really want to see the match. I want to see the fight. I want to see the fight because, wildly enough, body language is everything. Body language is everything. And when Wade Barrett, hey, look, because what's so wild is Charlotte starts walking towards Tiffany Stratton, and obviously Wade Barrett feels something. He was like, wait, hold on. Can't do that. He kind of made it clear. He kind of felt like, oh, wait, she about to do something. And he separated him. Tiffy gives the 0-3, woos, and immediately rolls out the ring. So that means she was like, yeah, I'm going to say something to make this bitch want to slap me. So now for me, I want to see the fight. I don't care. I still don't care about the title match. I don't. But I do want to see the fight. I now want to see how real this is. See, because this versus Naomi versus Jade, we know this is Black Girl Magic at its finest storytelling wise. We don't know about this yet. So it was even apparent what the other situation is. I don't think we truly know what the situation is. They got to get to the dock for me now. I need the WWE Backstage exclusive. I need the leak that says Tiffy said this about Charlotte and she heard it, or Charlotte said this, or Charlotte went to the front office, she went to Paul and said this, and this is why her title run looks like this. I need to see that now. So I am really concerned about the match, but I am here for the fight.
Now, according to reports, the last promo, the split screen promo, Charlotte Flair went off script, and it flustered Tiffany, and it made Tiffany pissed. So this may have been fallout from that, or it could be at work. Like, either way it go, I think that the crowd in Chicago was able to amp this up to what it needed to be. That's one thing that I know about the crib. One thing I know about Chicago. They go, ooh, your ass to death. Word. Oh, you gonna let her talk to you like that? Ooh.
Yeah.
Let these hoes fight. Let these hoes fight. Like, we will do that to death.
Yes. And another point to your point is that the Chicago crowd is also the best litmus test of how the universe feels. Like, the Chicago crowd is so infectious. It is so in tune that is the majority feeling. So really, to me, Charlotte should walk into Vegas expecting that energy, because Chicago is is one of those crowds. I think we're number one in this. I got Chicago, New York, specifically Madison Square Garden, and then Philly, as in, hey, when this crowd does this, this is how the wrestling community feels. Like everybody feels this way. So I think she should be prepared for that because look, here's the real shit too. If Charlotte went off script and because she was totally expected to come back to heroics. She was totally expecting to come back after the long injury, thinking the crowd really missed her and that it was going to be it. Like Triple H left as a heel when his quad tour, but he came back and you would have thought he was Hulk Hogan. The way that crowd reacted, and he didn't even take off his jacket. He just came out there, said he was back in the denim and the leather outfit, and just posed. And that crowd, and it looked like he won his 17th title at WrestleMania. That's what it looked like. And Charlotte thought she was going to get that, and she thought it was give her a chance to kind of be a tweener or to be more of a face, and it just ain't happened that way. And so now she's scrambling. She's scrambling because it's one thing to be a heel and know it up front, but it's another thing to know that your comeback story. But no, it's nothing to know that nobody fucks with your comeback story.
Yeah, like it is. Charlotte Flair has been the most hated women's wrestler for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is I don't think it's about her work. I think it's simply because of what she's been given. And people don't respect that.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to see how folks are just like, fuck this chick. Like it is. And at some point, they have to just embrace it. At some point, they got to stop trying to make her the face.
Yeah.
Or just try to make a sympathetic thing out of her. Mm-hmm. At some point, they just have to be like, she just has to be like, fuck every last one of y'all. Mm-hmm. Just like Ricky Steamboat has never been a heel. Mm-hmm. Charlotte Flair should never, ever, 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 ever be a face. Mm. Don't even think about it.
Here's a question for you, because I feel you on that. Do you also think that this is also more women's evolution effect? And when I say that, I mean this. So 10 years ago, the idea of having a woman version of Ric Flair seemed like a great idea, right? But, respectfully, at that time when this was starting, the bar was Trish Stratus. The bar was Lita. The bar started becoming Nikki Bella. Fast forward now. You got 5 women active today that should supersede those women by leaps and bounds. Bianca, Bayley, Rhea, Becky Lynch, because basically she has, and then this is star power, this is titles, this is all of this. And then you got people like Naomi who just should be just over them now, just on the talent aspect alone. But then you got the Roxanne Perez's of the world. You got you got Tiffany Stratton, shit. You got Io Sky. Now all of a sudden you've given all of a sudden the sample size of what a great woman wrestler is has not only expanded, but it's diversified. So now do you think with that is also why now maybe the Charlotte Flair character is, dare I say, dated?
Actually, nah.
Okay.
I think the women's evolution combined with her talent in the ring, mm-hmm. it should aid it.
Okay.
What it is, though, is she's constantly given the brass ring.
Yeah.
Like she's constantly given that. She comes back. The writing was on the wall that she was going to win the Royal Rumble. Yeah. Like she comes back and she doesn't even have to work for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to earn it. And I think because of those names, you're like, damn, we have all of these people. Give them a shot too. But when you think about the talent that is Charlotte Flair, like, it should be even more spotlighted because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But since she's given everything, that's the reason why
Mm-hmm.
that is the case. All right, let's go ahead and go to this round one. Now, again, we did not choose this. We did not pick this list. I see Russ in there say, "Where's the Undertaker?" I was going to get to that because I don't know. Like, sorry, we don't know where the Undertaker is, because we would have put him in the list too, but he's not there. So what do you want us to do about that? All right, so my bad. I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Real quick, I as we do this, as we transition, because I do agree with you. I do want to answer one question I thought was a really good question. I do have an answer. I had to Google it real quick. Because Donnie asked, in y'all opinion, what's the worst year of the Attitude Era? And to me, it's hands down, it's only this one year. It can't be anything but this year. And that's the year 2000. Why do I pick the year 2000? Because that's the year that Mae Young gave birth to a hand. I thought that was 99, but it was 2000. And so now if we're going to count 99 as a setup that led to it, I'm with that. But after that, I was contemplating if I was ever going to watch wrestling again. I won't even lie to you. So for me, 2000.
Oh man, wrestling in 2000 was just bad. It was the end of WCW. WrestleMania 2000, when you look back at it, that was like the highlight.
Yeah. Well, that one match was.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at wrestling in the 2000s again just to see if it was as hot as I thought it would. But you might be right on that one because they just start doing shit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start with this Attitude Era Icons joint. Now, again, we're starting here because Russ, we did not choose this. This is not based on feelings. We let AI choose this, and we did not attempt to change it.
Yeah, for sure.
Undertaker should be on this list. That's why we mentioned the Ultimate Warrior. There's a couple of others we would probably name too, but we didn't choose this. So there's your answer again. So let's start with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hardcore Holly. Of course, Stone Cold wins this, right?
Yeah, and the quick one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hardcore Holly, though. You know what I'm saying? The super heavyweight. You did.
Right. So we have Kurt Angle, X-Pac. This is of course, it's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But is this one a little bit closer than we would think?
Yeah. Because X-Pac had probably the first run of music. He had the most fire music, and his crotch chops are legendary. Like, hey, listen, X-Pac invented the crotch chop, the pyro. Like when he jumping up, like
he did.
Bah! And then he he was going crazy with the crotch chops. You know what I'm saying? Mad heat work from X-Pac.
Man.
In the Attitude Era.
Also just thinking about that shit, it was wild times when people was just doing shit to the pyro.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is some wild shit when people was doing some shit with the pyro. All right, so we got Stone Cold, we got Hardcore Holly in this joint. We're losing that joint. We got Kurt Angle, so they're setting up Steve Austin and Kurt Angle in the next round. Kane versus Goldust.
Kane versus Goldust. Now look, I know how y'all feel about that Hell in a Cell match. I know how y'all feel, but for me, this is the upset. I got Goldust. I got Goldust over Kane. That's my upset off the rip.
Tell me why.
Androgyny, one in wrestling. And not to be, and then to be clear, I was a big Dustin Rhodes fan in WCW. I was a big Dustin Rhodes fan in WCW. So for him to come over at that time, I think the gimmick itself is over. I'm sorry. Again, the gimmick itself of Gold, that's how it originally started, is underrated by him kicking off all of his promos with a quote from some classic movie. Him being dressed like an Oscar with a wig. Shoot, hey, listen, not for nothing. That man almost committed vehicular homicide at WrestleMania. Roddy Piper. He definitely made Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon break kayfabe, because I think Razor Ramon called him the other F word in the promo.
Yeah, yes, he did.
I know Jerry Lawler did. I seen that on YouTube. so for me, when you want to talk about blurring the lines, you want to talk about taking kayfabe to another place. For me, the character Goldust, the first 3-year run of Goldust. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about that Goldust. I'm talking about the very first one. That one, legendary. And if that's the Goldust that's compared to Kane, 96 Goldust to 98 Kane, hell yeah, 96 Goldust off the rip.
I'm gonna put Goldust down. You won. You got me over. Triple H versus Val Venus. That's an easy one there.
Yeah, I mean, love the Val Venus. Man, I would have picked Val Venus over Kane too, but I can't over Triple H. I just can't. Sorry. Close one. 2-point victory on that one.
Chris Jericho versus Billy Gunn. I think that's another one that's a bit easy. Right there, Chris Jericho. Not even close as somebody might say. Ken Shamrock versus Mick Foley.
Wildly enough, I wouldn't even have Ken Shamrock being the top seed over Mick Foley. So it's definitely Mick Foley.
Yeah, he's one that I probably wouldn't even have him on this list either.
Yeah, for sure. This is when the NCAA just mess up and they set somebody up to fail because somebody on the faculty did something shady and they wanted to pay nationally. That would be this.
Yeah. So this is how I know AI was fucked up. Because they have Eddie Guerrero in the Attitude Era. So by default, Road Dogg wins this because Road Dogg is Attitude Era.
Yes. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah. If they moved them to the 2000s or Ruthless Aggression, or if this was just all time, then I got Eddie any other day. But since this is Attitude Era specific bracket, we're going to shoot the fair one, put an Attitude Era guy over. Yeah. Road Dogg, you got lucky.
All right. So we have in the Sweet 16, in the 32, starting off our 32, Stone Cold versus Kurt Angle.
Listen, Bang, I'm gonna keep it so real with you. I want Kurt Angle to get out of this bracket, but this is the hardest sell ever in life. It's the hardest sell ever in life. The only stat I definitely have is the fact that Kurt Angle did win every single title in like 18 months. He was the European champion, the Intercontinental champion, and the World Heavyweight champion between 2000 to like 2001, or like that WrestleMania of 2002. Like he did all of that in that period of time. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon, legendary King of the Ring match. That was enough to keep the pay-per-view going again. But man, Stone Cold not being in the finals of this is just wild. It's just crazy work. I ain't even gonna lie. But Kurt Angle, anybody picking Kurt Angle over Stone Cold, I'm with you. But 1-point victory, Stone Cold. I want Kurt Angle to get out of here, but I can't really say it.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was definitely a victim of seeding on this one right here. Triple H versus Goldust. Got to get a nod to Triple H here. But I'm willing to hear any Goldust argument based off of what you talked about, because for the first part of the Attitude Era, Triple H wasn't Triple H.
Right. So
He was a right-hand man.
yes. So, because again, if we're talking strictly Attitude Era, hey, listen, Triple H don't get the ball till 98, spring 98. Goldust was already a 2-time Intercontinental Champion by then.
Yep.
He was touching tongues with Marlena on the set. He already tried to kill somebody. There was he was in the In Your House video game on PlayStation. Hey, that's major for me, cuz. Hey, listen. Oh shit. Oh no. Hey, yeah. Hold on. Even though I forget the year, the Shattered Dreams production, the work with him and Pillman.
Yeah.
Man. Oh man.
Oh,
Goldust, Brian Pillman. We forget because he ain't here and they didn't finish. We forget because he ain't here and they didn't finish. But Goldust, Brian Pillman with the Pillman X-Files, that was about to be storyline of the year, perhaps the decade. I'm going Goldust. Fuck that. Hey, fuck it. I'm going Goldust. Tell y'all, and y'all can't tell me Rock Triple H ladder match was fucking with Pillman, Goldust, X-Files, Pillman Triple X-Files. You can't.
I'll say this, and it's the reason why I said that I'm willing to have an argument. Because if you look at you've said on this show that Brian Pillman birthed the Attitude Era.
Yes.
If he birthed the Attitude Era, there's two people that helped him birth it. Stone Cold and Goldust.
Yes. Yes.
Triple H became Triple H maybe halfway through the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H really became Triple H in the Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yes.
I don't think people give Triple H a lot of credit for the Ruthless Aggression Era. They always talk John Cena.
Yeah, true.
So I was waiting to see if that argument would happen. But yes, in this case, would choose Goldust the character over Triple H.
Yeah.
Because when Shawn Michaels left, when he dropped the ball, it still took a little bit for the new version of Degeneration X to get what they need to get. Mm-hmm. By that time, the Attitude Era was dwindling. So I would pick Goldust on that one too. Mick Foley versus Chris Jericho.
Mick Foley versus Chris Jericho. Now, this is interesting. This is actually really interesting. I don't think you lose here. I don't think you lose whichever one you pick. I can't front because we're talking Attitude Era. Gotta pick Mick Foley. The biggest, literally, the shift in the Monday Night War was Mick Foley winning the title, and we knew it was going to happen. So yeah, gotta go Mick Foley for me.
And this right here is also the reason why I would have picked the upset with Triple H over Goldust. Because Mick Foley, for a good amount of time, was bigger than Triple H in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, when I think of Triple H, I think tail end of Attitude Era and into the Ruthless Aggression Era.
For sure.
Ruthless Aggression Era is where Triple H is in his prime.
Yeah.
You're not fucking with him.
Hey, and not for nothing. But I'm sorry about that. I mean, cut you off. And part of that, for everybody that may be on the fence by what we're saying, we just said in 2000, they were just trying any fucking thing. But you know what eventually worked? Giving Triple H the ball. And the ball being the world title at that time on SmackDown.
And he needed Mick Foley to legitimize him. Mm-hmm. That's the other part that people forget.
Yeah, for sure.
And Triple H will tell you He needed Mick Foley to legitimize him. That's in the Attitude Era, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for sure.
He felt like he wasn't legitimized. Goldust's characters, whether good or outlandish, was meant specifically for this era.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And then of course the Rock over Road Dogg. So,
yeah, for sure. Come on, we're not.
So, we have Stone Cold versus Goldust in the upset.
Yeah.
With the Triple H upset, of course, we put in Stone Cold there.
Yeah. Great run by Goldust. Hell, not for nothing, I would have loved to actually seen a Goldust Stone Cold feud had his knees been able to hold up. That being Stone Cold, that would have been crazy. But yeah, this is where the Cinderella team does have to go home. It's Stone Cold. Come on, dog. Y'all know the vibes.
And then we have Mick Foley versus The Rock.
Just like real life. Man.
Where we going?
I can't front here. This is kind of difficult because for everything we said about Triple H, The Rock has the exact same story. Mick Foley, the worker, when we talk about it, it's super underrated. And why I say super underrated, because when you talk about, who's a great hand in the ring, who's a great wrestler, people give you their McDonald's answers. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart. They always talk about those guys. Yeah, they get people over. They know how to wrestle. Daniel Bryan. We don't talk enough about the mega stars that were created after their feuds with Mick Foley. So part of me wants to put him over The Rock. But then, here is the reality. Mick Foley had a career before the Attitude Era, and he definitely had a career after the Attitude Era. All The Rock got is the Attitude Era, as far as full-time active wrestling goes. So I'm going to go The Rock because this is his moment. If we're talking about the era, this is his moment. And it just makes sense. But I'm willing to concede to anything you got that may tip the scale for Mick Foley.
I am not mad at anybody picking Mick Foley here, because I think people really think that The Rock's run was long, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And while, of course, mainstream-wise, it's the most impactful, they needed Mick Foley.
Yeah.
They needed Mick Foley. Does The Rock get the championship and it hits the way that it hits without him basically screwing Mick Foley?
No, I don't think so. No.
The I Quit match, empty arena match.
Yeah.
Keep going and going. The Raw match, like Stone Cold, Triple H, Rock, Mick Foley, are all intertwined.
Yeah.
But all of them needed Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Stone Cold's first opponent when he got the title was Dude Love.
Yeah. Hey, even the ringmaster needed Mankind.
Bingo. So I wouldn't be mad if somebody chose, like really looked at everything, didn't look at the pomp and circumstance and said Mick Foley. But The Rock is the answer here.
Yeah.
If we're looking at everything.
Yeah.
And I would not be mad if somebody chose Mick Foley. But because of that, Stone Cold and The Rock, probably the easiest bracket to choose. That's why we got this one out the way.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Attitude Era icon. Steve Austin is probably considered the greatest of all time because of this era.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, to this day, it's 2025. Austin 316 shirts are still being pressed. New ones. not the OG one. But they making the OG one. They got new ones. I meant to get the Nashville 316 shirt. I did not get one. I'm upset.
Hey, so before we move on, it is time for Do We Care?
Hey.
For those who know, this segment right here is when we look at some of the things that's happened during this week, some of the announcements, and do we care? Now, piggybacking, segueing into Stone Cold Steve Austin, or from Stone Cold Steve Austin, pause. Now we have immortalized matches in the Hall of Fame. And the first immortalized match is Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
Where does that match sit at some of the greatest matches you've ever seen? And do we care about immortalized matches being in the Hall of Fame?
For me, it is very high. I would say, everybody says top 10 off the rail. I'm going to say top 20 for sure. I'll go there because I never really sat and really thought about it. Do we care? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why I cared, because once I saw this announcement, I originally thought, wait a minute, they're not doing Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat first? But then I realized that the Macho Man is no longer with us, and they probably want to do this with two people that are alive, well, and can really speak to this era of just wrestling fan the best. So I'm going to say yes, we definitely care.
I see this as the WWE taking the UFC route, because the UFC has matches in their Hall of Fame. Like Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner is a match that's in the Hall of Fame, so they count as Hall of Famers.
And should be.
So, yes. So I can see that for this right here and see that going forward. This match right here is one of my favorite matches of all time to see. I hope this is not just WrestleMania matches. I hope we get like for example, if we were to say, okay, what non-WrestleMania matches should be in the Hall of Fame? Like The Undertaker versus Kurt Angle and No Way Out. Right?
Yeah. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon, King of the Ring.
Ric Flair, Royal Rumble match.
Yeah. I would say, hey, look, New Day, Usos, pre-show.
So there's a number of matches that could be added to this. So it remains to be seen what they're going to do, but I like this choice because it also confirms that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be at WrestleMania in Las Vegas. And there's been a lot of innuendo around him showing up at the main event at WrestleMania, helping Cody Rhodes. People would love to see The Rock and Stone Cold face off against each other one more time.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to allegedly happen last year, but they couldn't work it out. So The Undertaker stepped in.
Okay. Hey, and in line with the bracket, that's going to hit it way harder.
Bingo. With that being said, let's move on to the main event of WrestleMania, or the main events and what's not in the main event.
Yeah, man.
So we didn't get to this last week because we didn't have a show because my head was killing me. But
it happens.
Exactly. So we have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes as the main event of the whole entire thing. But now we have the triple threat match that I told y'all that was going to happen in December.
That's right. Facts. Bang me knowing.
Told y'all this is December, where you're going to have Seth freaking Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk in the main event of WrestleMania. And we now know what CM Punk's favor is. And I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But Jey Uso versus Gunther is not going to be a main event of any night. And we got to talk about Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
Is that an issue for you?
No, because I expected this. I expected this. Shit. Or shoot. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss so much within my thoughts. But shoot, originally I had Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair potentially being the main event of night one. If a title match had to be in the main event. So yeah, no, I'm not surprised at this at all. I personally have Jey Uso because you raised a great point a few weeks ago. Jey Uso's opening up night one or night two. I just don't know which one. But my guess would be night one since Cody and Cena would be night two.
So this is why I didn't like the decision to have Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble. If you was going to have him go up against Gunther. Because we saw that match recently.
Yeah.
We saw it on Saturday night's main event. Keyword is recently.
Mm-hmm.
And low-key, he should have won that.
Yes.
So I'm going to go back, dig in the crates a bit, in what I've been saying for a while. Roman Reigns should have won the Royal Rumble. Jey Uso should have beat Gunther on Saturday night's main event. Roman Reigns should have had to choose between Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. A lot of people would have assumed that Roman Reigns would have picked Cody Rhodes for the rubber match and to get his title back. Now, Roman Reigns is supposed to be a face right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question. Let's be real. How was the face turn of Roman Reigns going?
Oh, it's not going well at all. It's looking a little like it's looking scattered. It's looking like throwing stuff to the wall.
It's just like, yo, we cheering NWO. Even though they're heels, we cheer them. So y'all made the decision to just turn them face. But they still bad guys. It's like cheering for the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
But Roman Reigns is not doing anything outside of Roman Reigns. From a face perspective, he's not saving niggas.
Yeah.
Niggas is saving him still.
Mm-hmm.
He had the issue. They put the bloodline back together to face the new bloodline, and they got CM Punk to help. Roman Reigns should have won the Royal Rumble. Let me say this again. Roman Reigns should have won the Royal Rumble. And by winning the Royal Rumble, it should have been looked at that he's going to choose Cody Rhodes to get his belt back, and the family would have both belts.
Mm-hmm.
But then he would Superman punch Jey Uso and pick Jey Uso for WrestleMania. Because then Roman Reigns would say it's only room for one tribal chief, not two. And that's when we get Jey versus Roman at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Which
remember
is
what
definitely
happened? Right. And remember what happened at SummerSlam that led to the breakup of the original bloodline in the first place. My brother helped my cousin defeat me for the title, but now everybody's all cool. But when Roman Superman punches Jey, now the family has to make a decision, which they make the decision. We're out of this. Nobody's helping nobody. It's one-on-one, mano-a-mano. The best man wins. That should have been the main event of WrestleMania. You could have still had John Cena versus Cody Rhodes.
For sure.
But you should have had Jey versus Roman to close the bloodline story.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania.
That is definitely, and that is top billing over Cody John, unfortunately. But hey, they would understand that because the only other audible to call is if Jey Uso wins that Saturday night's main event and Gunther ends up winning the Royal Rumble. So now you got the rubber match at WrestleMania. That would have been the only other thing that would have been more of a fever pitch. But what you're saying is top tier, upper echelon. Hey, that's the match that makes the damn Mania Moments Hall of Fame thing. what you're saying. So,
because to me, Gunther versus Jay at WrestleMania makes no sense.
yeah.
And I keep telling y'all, the World Championship is nothing more than the Super Intercontinental Championship.
You know, you do be saying that.
That's what it is. It is the WWE Intercontinental or the WWE International Championship.
Mm.
It is the WWE TV Championship. You put more emphasis and stock on you put the light on the World Championship by making a match like Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns for that belt.
Mm-hmm.
You make that belt mean something by making those two go up against each other for that belt. This is nothing against Jey Uso, the most over person in the company.
Yes.
And this is nothing against Gunther, which I might argue with somebody and say he's the best wrestler in the company.
Mm.
But that's not the WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
And I think the WWE made a misstep.
Yeah. Hey,
and not putting Roman versus Jay at WrestleMania.
In hindsight, this is what y'all call bad booking.
Right.
This is what y'all call bad booking right here.
If the goal is for the winner to main event WrestleMania, then what should have happened is Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble and Jay already have the belt and him choosing between his cousin, who he has issues with, or Cody Rhodes, who took the belt from him in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should have happened. But this belt still continues to be the Super Intercontinental Championship because you're not putting the belt in high situations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you did it last year with Seth and Drew.
Yeah.
And then Drew losing it to Damian Priest. But you killed that momentum after that. Make that belt mean something. It should have been Roman versus Jay. But I also, like I said, called this. Looking at that night one main event, CM Punk announced what his favor is. And his favor is Paul Heyman in his corner during that match. There was a callback from when CM Punk was in the company years ago. Mm-hmm. And he said that he was going to walk down with him to when he main events WrestleMania and all of that. So yeah, it happens. So now that it's happened, the callback is complete. But what does this mean for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? I will tell you right now, it makes me feel like what I had said 2 weeks ago, that Seth Rollins will be leaving out with Paul Heyman, makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. Yeah. Body language is everything. And much like in that scenario, Seth Rollins was John Cena on Raw. I ain't even gonna front to y'all. I'm super underwhelmed by the favor now. Super underwhelmed. Granted, I was never 100% on board with the favor is CM Punk main event in WrestleMania or getting the title, because who was Paul Heyman to make that favor? Like, if not, he wouldn't have been gone for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like that didn't make sense to me. But I'm super underwhelmed by the favor is, yo, we homies, you my mans, and you always believed in me. So, yo, when I make it to WrestleMania, you're going to be in my corner. And I want to be in your corner. Because you are going to make it. So, but it does set up, even though that's to me, that's now the small seed that is going to create a bigger story. And I am now. This is one of the most anticipated matches of the weekend for me now, because I do not expect anything to look the same way it does after WrestleMania.
Yeah, going back to the Seth Rollins thing, I don't want to use foregone conclusion, but Paul Heyman could definitely use the unappreciated line for both CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Roman, where was you when your cousins was whooping my ass? You was all filming a movie. CM Punk, I begged you. I had to beg you to help me after everything that I've done for you. Now we going over here with Seth. And it's fuck both of y'all. Which also makes it even more of a reason why Roman Reigns needed to be in another feud for Royal Rumble sake. But I am excited for this match because it's three dudes who simply just don't like each other. And hell, Roman Reigns sold the hell out of that that go to sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
He sold the hell out of that shit. Hey, Roman Reigns put himself in the Kurt Hennig Hall of Fame. Kurt Hennig Hall of Fame of selling. Because he sold that shit. I was like, that ain't the tribal chief. That's Roman Reigns when they put dog food in his face selling that shit. What
Damn, I forgot
favor?
about that, but yeah.
Right. What favor would have made sense?
Man.
Or let me put it like this. Would it have made more sense to reveal the favor at WrestleMania than it would have been like on a random SmackDown?
Yeah. Like, see, for me, the favor, as much as they teased it and as much as everybody was trying to know what it is, like the favor should have been how we should have learned the favor after WrestleMania. And we learned it after CM Punk has went over on Roman Reigns with the help of Paul Heyman. Because your why Heyman why gets answered literally the next night, and they can have the callback. Like, there's just ways to add more fire to the callback. They were like, hey, yo, cue the Titantron when this mug was looking like Wolverine. Look at this. And he was like, look, we told y'all, I've always believed in this guy. And this was our plan all along, to walk out in victory at the main event of WrestleMania. We've planned this for years, for decades. I would have just rather that, like me knowing that it's more of a versus that's what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ways to deliver it. Like, I mean, shit. Think of Paul Bearer and The Undertaker. And I was like, wait, he hit this nigga with the urn? What is he doing? like that meant something to me. I was like, yo, I never thought this was going to happen. Versus, like, because obviously because the lines are already blurred. The Heyman guy with the tribal chief, with the visionary, it's the Shield with CM Punk. Like, all the lines are already blurred to begin with. Let's make the line clear at WrestleMania.
Definitely would have rather been a contractual thing as a favor instead of you being in my corner. But it's kind of like CM Punk. It fits the mold.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. All right, let's go back to the bracket. Yeah. So we have the legends of the 80s. So we have in the first round, Tito Santana, Hulk Hogan, Sergeant Slaughter, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Bob Backlund, Andre the Giant, Hunky Talk Man, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Big John Studd, Jimmy Snuka, Iron Sheik, Macho Man, Don Morocco. So let's go ahead and start with the 1 versus the 16. Are we really doing this? Are we really putting Tito Santana over Hulk Hogan?
No, we're not. Salute to Tito. Tito's music was fire too. But you count ring lights, bro. Sorry.
There we go. Hulk Hogan is in the next round. Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter versus Harley Race. Who you got?
Now listen, this difficult. This difficult because on one hand, Sergeant Slaughter was G.I. Joe, and knowing is half the battle. But, and I know I wasn't there for it, I'm just here to put respect on handsome Harley Race's name. So, for me, because to me, I don't think, not even I don't think, that was WrestleMania 7. That was 90. Sergeant Slaughter ain't the Sergeant Slaughter we remember till we like 10, 11 years old. So I'm going to go Harley Race. And there shouldn't be too many OGs fighting me on that.
I'm going to agree with you on this one because from a lot of my time in the 80s, Sergeant Slaughter's in the AWA.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
So, and Harley Race is still like him and Ric Flair at Starrcade in 1983. So there's that. Dusty Rhodes and Bob Backlund. This is an easy one. Yeah, Dusty Rhodes for the win.
Yeah, Dusty. Sorry, Bob.
Andre the Giant versus Honky Tonk Man in real life and in cave, like, and in not real life. That's Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Big John Studd. This is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yeah. No debate here.
Yeah.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Iron Sheik, however.
Again, this is probably the toughest matchup of this first round. So Superfly Jimmy Snuka off top, and literally off top of the cage, splash, iconic. But, and I'm sorry, throw the name out to me again. I'm sorry. Snuka versus who? Snuka versus
Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik. No matter how you slice it, and we know who won the match, but there is no Hulkamania if he don't go over on the Iron Sheik. And I think the First Black Champ podcast is the ones that solidified that to you in this era. I don't think even in this recent passing, we truly recognize how important the Iron Sheik is. I am going to go the Iron Sheik, even though I know next to the Junkyard Dog where I was from, Superfly Jimmy Snuka was your favorite black wrestler. But I'm still going the Iron Sheik.
I am going to agree with you on this one.
Okay.
Macho Man versus Don Morocco.
Yeah.
Another easy one.
Yeah. Shout to Don, though.
Yeah. And Ric Flair versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, you already know. Greg the nope, never. Ric Flair, let's go.
But they homies, though.
Yeah, that's
true. We're going with Ric Flair.
Absolutely.
All right. The hardest
that's his racist
matchup. The hardest matchup in this bracket is Macho Man versus Ric Flair.
Yes.
Who you picking?
80s, right?
Yep.
Listen, I'm gonna be fucking biased. I'm gonna be biased because for me, and we're just gonna go at heartstrings here. WrestleMania 4 is why I personally am an avid wrestling fan. I am not a wrestling fan without WrestleMania 4. And the Macho Man Randy Savage is unquestionably the star of WrestleMania 4. And that is the 80s. And then you got WrestleMania 5 when the Mega Powers explode. From the iconic imagery to the quote move set to a lot of the things that maybe I was too young to see, but I know they definitely happened in this decade that we're talking about. I gotta go Macho Man Randy Savage. I have to. But Ric Flair is really Ric Flair before we get to 1980. So again, I might be wilding for even taking this long to think about it. And this ain't saying that Ric Flair ain't the man. But there are some upsets, and then there is some, but man, how can you not? And there's literally only two people in the 80s that can contest to the Macho Man, if you want my personal opinion. And unfortunately, he's facing one in the the second round. But I'm still gonna go with the Macho Man Randy Savage because, again, me personally, I am not a wrestling fan without WrestleMania 4, so I'm not going against that.
While I'm in the same boat as you as far as WrestleMania 4, 1989 was the year of Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the best wrestler on the planet for years in the 80s. But in 1989, with feuds against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Terry Funk, Great Muta, Lex Luger, there's no way I can choose somebody against my favorite wrestler of all time, except for choosing Ric Flair over Macho Man.
I get it.
There is no way I can choose Macho Man over Ric Flair because of 1989.
Hey, listen.
So we're going to let the listeners choose Ric Flair versus the Macho Man. Tweet us at FBC, the FBC PLD. Go in the comment section. Is it Macho Man or is it Ric Flair? We already got Russ's thoughts. He has Ric Flair over Macho Man. How this is choose will affect how this bracket goes.
Yeah.
Why? Because Hulk Hogan over Harley Race.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes, Andre the Giant. I'm going to pick Andre the Giant.
Really?
Yes. Because of WrestleMania 3.
Fair.
As much as Dusty is Dusty in the mid-80s,
yeah,
Andre the Giant is still that nigga in the 80s. Once we get to 88, once we get to 89, okay. But then Dusty Rhodes come in polka dots.
Yeah, hey, but Andre the Giant is hanging on by a thread, like literally. Like the ring rope is like his best friend. And that's the only reason why. Because I watched the doc. I got educated because I know a few years back, kind of shit on Andre the Giant. So I get it. I ain't gonna cap. Hey, listen, that's what I do. Hey, listen, when I said it, I meant it, but I'll educate. But for me, 80s Dusty, even though, again, yeah, like you said, yo, Andre the Giant is still the man. Like WrestleMania 3, again, the solidifying. There's the inception of Hulkamania, and then there's the solidifying of Hulkamania, and Andre the Giant's part of that. But man, I don't know. In this particular one, I don't know if I can definitely go against Dusty, but I get it.
I'll put it like this. Andre the Giant put over Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and Jake the Snake.
And he could barely wrestle.
In a 3-year span.
You got me.
And the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh. You got me. Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant. yeah, because that all happened. That literally all happened. Yeah. And got Haku a tag team title on the way out.
Right. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Iron Sheik. That's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Because of 1989.
Yeah. I get you. I'm with it.
Now, Hogan versus Andre, we have Hulk Hogan.
But, yeah, for sure. Just like in real life.
And whether it is Macho Man or Ric Flair, one of those two are going over on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
For sure.
Even though Macho Man lost to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But here's why I said that what is chosen affects the bracket.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all. Now. I'm not choosing Ric Flair. I'm not choosing Hulk Hogan over Ric Flair.
80s?
I'm not.
I don't know, man. This is difficult.
I'm not.
Because for all things considered, the same reasons why I had Macho Man coming out of that bracket is the reasons why I got to have Hulk Hogan winning this shit. So, yeah, hey. The volume, the clip, the promos. Obviously, Ric Flair is bodying the 80s. Like he really is. You get like he is. And and in totality, you think about it. Fortunately and unfortunately, the part-time schedule that everybody is looking for is Hulk Hogan's 80s. Like he has actually 10 moments. Like got 10. But he's the biggest star. He makes the most money. He sells the most merch. That is the dream schedule.
But you talk about that ring. Yeah. You talking about the matches. And let's keep it a buck. Nobody wanted to, well, I don't know a kid in the hood that wanted to be Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Every kid in the hood that I knew watched WCW, NWA wanted to be Ric Flair.
That's true.
So right now we got one for Ric Flair, we got one for Macho. How that goes is going to determine a lot here. So go up in the comment section, and we'll go from there. Moving on to Cena and Cody Rhodes. We finally got some action.
Yeah.
We finally got some action. We finally got somebody putting hands on somebody. But Am I wrong for thinking that this build-up is kind of falling flat?
Yeah, I think, well, I think so. Kind of. I'm 50-50 with you. 50-50 with you. Because I don't really want the match either, right? But I have been enjoying watching John Cena body Cody Rhodes every single week promo wise. Last week for me on Raw, it was very telling about what is a superstar, who really makes the superstars, how great are you at your job without the low-hanging fruit. And even though I was not totally sold, we came on the show and I said this. I was like, I don't like the toxic relationship angle from John Cena, but the rest of this promo was phenomenal. We got more of the same of that last week, but man, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this because it really highlighted the fact that Cody Rhodes promos ain't really that fire if he ain't crying or cussing. And he had to call him a dick. He had to call him, like, all this different shit. Like, and I was just like, okay. Meanwhile, the most scathing word that John Cena used was ass. But Chicago let Cody know how this really go. The first part of John Cena's promo was so fire that the crowd started cheering him. Let's never forget that. Those boos and the John Cena sucks, John Cena sucks, that was loud. That was deafening when he started. Cody came out there. Cena reached for the bag, and that crowd turned. So for me, and I love the whole, I don't bury talent. I am talent. I bury mediocrity. That's a bar. That's up there with I'm still here because you can't do your job for me. That's up there. Again, I think we sang Cena's praises 2 weeks ago. I'm here to triple down on it. Promo-wise, I don't see how you got Cena out of your top 2. But this is falling flat because, man, and on the other hand, this is falling flat because of this reason. Cody Rhodes doesn't have the heartstring angle he needs to be invested enough to cry. Here's the deal. Cena called him his chauffeur and was like, yo, you are underachieving Nepo, baby, but you getting everything. And this is the first time that Dusty by name has not been brought up. This is the first time that, I had so much respect for your father and I said this, or we did that, or he told me to do this for you. We have none of that. We have none of that. We have literally, John Cena is like, look, I am here to be the greatest ever. I'm here to close the door on wrestling. And you can't fucking stop me. And Cody Rhodes hasn't given me a great enough reason as to why he should. And that's why it's going flat. If the foregone conclusion is that Cena is going to leave Vegas with the title, I'm fine with that now. Because Cody ain't said or did anything that makes me think it should go any other way. And for that to be the night 2 match, that is a problem. And that is why I do 50-50 agree with you as to why this is going flat.
It's also going flat to me because why The Rock? What's the connection? Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to do what you did? Like, what happened? Are you in cahoots? Like, are you like, what is it? The promos between John Cena and Cody are going the way that I thought it was going to go, because they both saying some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But what we still don't know is, what did The Rock tell Cena to make all of this happen in the first place?
Yeah.
We barely got a Rock reference on Monday. That's why this is falling flat.
Mm.
Why did The Rock, or what did The Rock say to you to convince you that we ain't shit? Tell me why. I'm confused.
I dig it. And listen, I think it's a great angle as to why. We just haven't heard it yet. I'm waiting for the Rock piece of this story. But to answer Donnie real quick, yeah, you're right. Cody told Cena that he had a small dick and he can't wrestle. And I'm here to tell you, as a grown man, if I get to fuck Nikki Bella and dump her, you can't tell me shit about my dick size. Don't care. Don't care. Hey, I put it, no matter how big it is, I put it in Nikki Bella and then got rid of her.
The end.
Only for her to come back and get rid of me, but oh well. Oh well. Oh well. He's like, and that list, I'm just sticking there because we can confirm that. But hey, we can throw Mickey James in that too, I believe. But bottom line is, oh well. Whatever I'm doing, got that. If we're gonna have the real life angle of this all.
The end. And that, like, at some point, man, I would have rather got via Satellite Rock to explain what this is, instead of Cena telling the fans they're toxic.
Yeah.
Okay, we toxic, but still, why the fuck you align yourself with The Rock and where he at?
Right.
I get it. Right, you still ain't answer that though. Now maybe we might get it these next 2 weeks. But to me, that's the missing piece of this. The Rock did this, and we ain't seen him since.
Mm.
So what's the whole point? Why did we get to where we are right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's my only thought in this. All right, let's go to the WCW powerhouses.
Oh.
Now I know when I saw this, I was like, Ric Flair needs to be on this. And let me also shout out to the folks. Shout out the folks who put like that Mount Rushmore of WCW in the First Black Champ group on Facebook.
Yeah, it was just like for Monday Nitro specifically, right? Like the show.
Yeah. My question to you is who belongs on that? Like, who belongs on the WCW Mount Rushmore?
So I wanted to be clear because I think I might have read two different things. Because one, I was like, okay, y'all making a good point. If we're talking WCW in general, I have a 4, but if we do have a specifically a WCW Monday Nitro Mount Rushmore, I do have a different answer. I ain't even gonna cap. Like if we're talking if we're talking Nitro, the show itself, it's hard to not put Hall and Nash, but I'm gonna go Scott Hall specifically. You gotta go Goldberg, and I don't fuck with Goldberg. Booker T and shit, Eric Bischoff. And I know Hollywood Hogan should be on there. But I don't think Hollywood Hogan gets to where it is without Scott Hall and Eric Bischoff. Hogan is Hogan. Him turning heel was a big thing. Because really, I mean, and yeah, and could you just do something to represent one person of the NWO? Yes, and I still think that should be Scott Hall, even though it didn't quite go that way. But this kicks off with him. The only other answer for me that I think is acceptable would be Scott Steiner or a Nitro Girl. If we're talking about specifically just Nitro. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Sting. Yeah, Sting, Booker T, Goldberg, Scott Hall. If we're talking just Nitro. Respect the Diamond Dallas Page, though.
Now, when we talk at WCW as an organization.
Oh, that's way different.
Got?
Flair, Sting. Flair, Sting for me. Vader.
Ooh.
Flair, Sting, Vader. WCW. Shit. Mount Rushmore, because they ain't limited to wrestlers. Shit, Jim Ross.
Oh shit. You wrong.
Okay. Okay.
Man, that Mount Rushmore is Ric Flair, Sting. That shit is Ric Flair, Sting, Goldberg, and the Steiner brothers.
Okay.
And you can intertwine. You can change Lex Luger with Goldberg if you want.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that either. Yeah.
But if and for people to leave out the Steiner brothers in this conversation, y'all some hoes. I'm not calling you a hoe.
No, because you already know how I feel about the Steiners. So.
Right.
Yes. But now people saying that they don't belong is wild. That would be insane. You was a hoe for that, saying they don't belong.
Like, I don't think people really truly be paying attention if the Steiner brothers is not on your WCW Mount Rushmore. The Steiner brothers was at one point in time thought of as the greatest tag team ever. We could talk all we want to about the shit that Eric Bischoff did from the TV side. We could talk all that shit about Hulk Hogan when he came to WCW and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Hogan, even though he spent a real incredible amount of years with WCW, when you think about it,
yeah,
WCW's Mount Rushmore is Ric Flair, Sting, Goldberg, or Lex Luger, and the Steiner brothers. And if you leave the Steiner brothers off of it, I really think folks is all, or you just didn't watch WCW when you should have.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad.
Because here's the thing. Let's not talk like with the Steiner brothers. The Steiner brothers is the greatest tag team in WCW history. Bar none.
Sure.
Is no discussion.
Yeah.
But you also talking about a U.S. championship between both of them, and the WCW TV title between both of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best heel turns, with Scott turning on his brother, and going from Slater to Big Bag Booty Daddy.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Rick Steiner with the Varsity Club. And with May She Rest in Peace Woman.
Yeah, for sure.
That's your Mount Rushmore. If you want to put an executive in your Mount Rushmore, that executive is Ted Turner.
Okay.
Because Ted Turner gave him an open checkbook.
Yeah.
It is easy to go get the stars you want to get with an open checkbook.
Yeah. Facts.
You give me an open checkbook, y'all don't know me no more. I'm doing this podcast via satellite for real. And that's why I'm not putting executives in these spots.
Okay, fair.
Because especially when it comes to Eric Bischoff told us he gave him an open checkbook.
Mm-hmm.
We got to make a profit. Just go get the people. I'll take care of the rest.
Mm.
That makes it easy for you to go get Hall, Nash, Hogan, Macho Man.
And keep Sting and keep Flair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But sign the whole ECW lucha scene or light heavyweight scene or cruiserweight scene, whatever they were called at that time. Yeah. No. Okay. I can see it.
But to know WCW, you got to know that his homegrown talent, for the most part, is what continuously made that organization. Sting, Ric Flair, Goldberg is homegrown. Lex is coming from Florida, though. And the Steiner brothers.
Mm-hmm.
The Steiner brothers are not on your Mount Rushmore WCW. You didn't watch WCW.
Mm.
The fact that Hall and Nash had to go through Rick and Scott, and it was like a damn near Super Bowl worthy matchup, says a lot.
Yeah.
And Scott was there until the wheels fell off. Rick was there until the wheels fell off. One of your last world champions in that organization is Scott Steiner. Stay in that for me.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and put the little photo of Rick on all fours and Scotty on his shoulder barking. Or just when Scott Steiner do this shit.
Yeah. No,
and Rick doing this shit. Go look at when they made their run in Japan under WCW.
Yeah.
The Kensuke Sasaki matches. Baby. Man, you can't. Nah.
No, okay. No, you're 1000% correct. I always try to leave it to like 4 faces, but yeah, no, Steiners. The Steiners are definitely. I mean, they should never be omitted anytime we talk about WCW. I know, and because people do a good job of it saying Sting, but you need to talk about the Steiners the way you talk about Sting when you talk about WCW, for sure. That's not even an understatement.
When Sting and Lex Luger went against the Steiner brothers at Super Brawl.
Yeah.
The joint where Nikita Koloff came up in there with the chain.
And with the lariat.
Yeah. With the Russian sickle.
Oh, that's right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I am sick and tired of folks having WCW conversations and leaving out Rick and Scott Steiner. I am tired of that happening. I still hate that Dudes with Attitudes name. But you can't talk about WCW without Rick and Scott Steiner. They, just as well as Rick, Lex, Sting, were the heart and soul of that organization.
For sure. Absolutely.
So stop playing with me, y'all.
Absolutely.
Stop playing with Rick. Stop playing with Scott. They built WCW or have a hand in building WCW just as much as some of these other guys.
Yeah.
And they was there till the wheels fell off. Just like Sting.
Yeah.
Just like Rick. Just like Lex.
Yeah. And not for nothing. The Steiners going to the WWF at the time, that was huge. That was huge news. That was shocking news. To frame it for you the right way, it would literally be like the Usos going to AEW next year or this summer. It would literally be like the Usos going to AEW.
So let's get into this WCW joint again. We didn't pick them. We let AI pick it for various reasons. Sting versus Dean Malenko.
Come on now. Stinger. Dean Malenko made this list is kind of crazy too, by the way.
Brian Pillman versus Rick Rude.
Now, you know, these are my guys. These are my guys. But since we're talking WCW, and if I'm giving, and the way I talk about both of these gentlemen and both of their careers, I'm still going to go Brian Pillman, though. And I know Rick Rude was the world champ, but again, I say Brian Pillman created the Attitude Era. And he was a Hollywood blonde. Come on. Brian Pillman for me.
I'm going to pick Brian Pillman because Rick Rude's run was too short for me.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson versus Conan. Arn.
Now, hey, listen. Hey, listen. I understand your man's. Arn Anderson is the man. He's not just your man's. That's the man. But Conan was a very special individual in WCW. He was super when he was special when he looked like Sagat from Street Fighter. He was special when he was bowdy and rowdy with the jinkos and the wife beater on. I'm not so sure that this is just a quick out for my dog Conan. I don't know. Conan was fire in WCW.
Okay. I'll give you a close 15-minute match. It's still Arn Anderson, nigga. It's close 15-minute match. It's a couple of false pins.
Yeah, okay. All right, for sure.
But Arn Anderson, go give him that DDT and we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah, man. Greatest TV champion of all time, man.
Now, this one was difficult for me, especially about what I just said. But I said Steiner's, not just Rick or Scott. But I've also said on this podcast that Vader legit scared me. He legit scared me. I didn't want to die. And I can't wait to watch The Dark Side of the Ring this week on Vader. Vader over Scott Steiner in this matchup. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is very difficult for me to just like we just go first round Scott Steiner out of here.
Right.
I was literally I don't know, we had an NWA conversation and I said the last member of the NWO that counts is Scott Steiner. And he wasn't even the last one in the order. But he's the last one that counts to me. Vader is still Vader though. All right, man. It can be Vader. It can be Vader.
Lex Luke.
He did cripple Sting. He did cripple him.
The man beat the shit out of Sting, fam. They at Super Brawl, they had Ric Flair in there with Mean Gene Oakland. And you would have thought Ric Flair was driving to his own funeral.
Yeah. That man comes home and then the interview with a busted lip at the end of that.
Man.
He almost broke Ric Flair's jaw at like 40-something.
Like, when y'all look up Monster Heels in the dictionary, Vader should be right there. Yeah. Just looking at you with how you do that shit. This shit.
Yeah, you know,
he should
Vader
be
time.
Right. He should just be looking at you like this. Vader is one of the scariest individuals of all time to me.
Yeah.
And that Dark Side of the Ring is going to prove a lot of that correct. But then you're gonna find out how when he paralyzed dude, how it affected him.
Yeah.
But still, like, nah. You look up Monster Heel in the dictionary, Vader ass is just sitting there looking at you, ready to fuck you up. Lex Luger versus the Giant. That's Lex Luger, correct?
Yeah, that's Luger. Stop.
Booker T versus Diamond Dallas Page is an interesting matchup. Because you're looking at somebody who was popular while the WCW was popular versus somebody who was champ when the shit was going in the tubes.
Yeah. Listen, huge fan of Harlem Heat. And listen, huge fan of specifically WCW Booker T. But I'm going to say this, man. If there were ever two careers that were running more parallel and there was one misstep, and we're going to get to the misstep because that's the hook. Listen, I've liked Diamond Dallas Page since he had Vinny Vegas and Oz and was saying, good God, in the promos with a fire blonde, well, an 80s fire blonde, right? Before the RKO, there was the Diamond Cutter. And listen, he won the copyright infringement against Jay-Z and Rockefeller for throwing up the diamond. He won. And if they were neck and neck, and it was 10 meters to the finish line, I need you to understand that Booker T was also G.I. Bro. So we're going Diamond Dallas Page.
The way you broke that shit down, I didn't expect you to end it the way that you ended it. It's like, hey, at the end of the day, this motherfucker was G.I. Bro, fam. Diamond Dallas Page for the win. Yeah. Another interesting matchup for niggas who really know WCW. Great Muta versus Barry Windham. This match actually happened. It was for the NWA World Championship.
Yeah.
Barry Windham, I believe, won that match. Does he win this right here too? Yeah, nigga, this is the one. This is for the real wrestling watchers.
Dog.
Like, this is the one for the real WCW heads. Where are we going here? Because that one, bruh.
Dog, come on, man. First of all, Barry Windham, dog. And prayers up for Barry Windham, too, by the way.
Yeah, I heard that he reportedly allegedly had a heart attack.
Yeah, man. Dog, this is a listen. I care who wins this, and I don't care who wins this. I am probably one of those rare human beings that I have Great Muta and Barry Windham level in my world. And the other person on their level to me is Beautiful Bobby Eaton. There are some names in WCW. I cannot pick this. I cannot pick this. I do not care what y'all pick because Muta and Windham deserve to be in the second round.
Man,
like there's no way for me you can get through the WCW without having both of them in the second round. Shit, I would honestly say into the third. But I mean, look, again, to me, the greatest is the Muta's Japanese, right?
Yes.
By race, he's the greatest Japanese. By character, he's the second greatest Japanese wrestler of all time. Rest in peace, Yokozuna. You know what I mean? But hey, Barry Windham, my favorite version of the Four Horsemen, and very instrumental in Dustin Rhodes being Dustin Rhodes, and then going on to be Goldust from an in-ring perspective.
Man,
somebody in the chat pick, man. Oh, go ahead.
First of all, Orlando, I need you to choose between Ric Flair and Macho Man. Since you're saying I sound like Charles Barkley, I'm getting my shit back. I just had some tea. But you got to pick, be the tiebreaker. Who? But damn it.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to go with Barry Windham here.
Okay.
I'll choose to go Barry Windham.
I am fine with that.
The Four Horsemen connection is the breaker here.
Yeah.
This next one was wild as hell too. This matchup was wild as hell too. Because Kim, I truly want to pick Chris Benoit. Fuck Orlando, pick Macho Man. Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Hey.
So Macho Man is the winner.
Macho, let's go.
Y'all ain't shit, man. Y'all ain't shit. Fuck all of y'all. Fuck all of y'all.
Sorry, man. It's our WrestleMania 4, man. Changed my life.
We know it's Hulk Hogan over Macho Man. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this motherfucker there. It's some bullshit. I'm upset at y'all. The fuck?
I know it sucks. It sucks, bro. Come on, man. It's the Macho Man.
Nah, fuck that shit, man. I know it's the Macho Man. It's my favorite wrestler of all time.
I know. That's why I mean, and I get you trying to be bracket savvy, but my nigga,
hey, this is Jasper being bracket savvy shit. But I gotta go Goldberg because Goldberg ran WCW during his time. Chris Benoit left during that time too. So I gotta go Goldberg here. Sting versus Brian Pillman. Yeah, that's Sting.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson versus Vader, though.
Hey, the ship got to end sometime, man. That's Vader. That's Vader.
Lex and DDP.
Nah, man. Now look.
Go ahead.
This ain't this difficult.
He said, "How long is the match?"
Hey, right. Hey, let's be clear. Hey.
Orlando, my nigga.
That do matter.
My nigga. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I like this podcast. This is why I love Barbershop Network, because people that like follow all of our shows be watching us too on the Twitter and everything. But also, this is how you know real wrestling vibes right here. Yeah. That man said Ric Flair versus Macho Man. How long is the match, first of all?
You're right. Because a good 30, good 25, 30, Macho Man all day.
But as soon as we get to 35 and up, it's Ric Flair. I feel you. Not only do I feel you, hey, let's go back and look at WrestleMania. What was that? WrestleMania 7?
Yeah.
No, 8. Yeah. Excuse me, 8. WrestleMania 8.
Oh, yeah, because with the double main event with
right. Ric Flair lost to Macho Man by a roll-up, but he fucked that nigga knee up to the point where they had to return match a couple of weeks later, and Ric Flair got that bitch back. See? But we talk about 80s here. I get it. But you know what the fuck I'm saying. Like, hey, hey. And that was a short match. And that was a short match because Macho Man knee was done.
Yeah.
But y'all pick Macho Man. Fuck y'all. Huh? I'm mad. But Lex Luger, here's why I'm going to pick Lex Luger. The first episode of DDP, over DDP. The first episode of Nitro. That's why. The first episode of Nitro, he came out there with the little white shirt and shit, and niggas was like, "Oh, what's Lex doing here?" Oh shit, that's why. Yeah. Like he came back home, and niggas was like, "Oh shit," and like he used to whoop DDP's ass.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, and not for nothing, and it's not even like it was such a marquee match, but one of my favorite matches of all Clash of the Champions is Great Muta versus Lex Luger. With Lex Luger winning and blocking the mist. He was the first person I've seen block the mist and won the match.
Lex was mid, but Lex was Hulk Hogan mid. Here's what I mean. Like, niggas ain't got, like, the niggas move set was Huff. But them niggas pose and you forget about everything.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like pause, but you know what I mean? Like, that nigga aura was still like, yo, Lex, and even early Lex Luger, when the nigga was kind of off, and put you in the torture rack a little bit too long and shit, like just keep doing that shit, And the torture rack is one of my favorite finishes of all time.
No, for sure.
Because basically you just doing this shit, motherfucker just sitting up there doing that shit.
Hey, and not for nothing, Gary Michael Capetta also really put Lex Luger over in the intro too, though.
Yes, he did. Like go watch early Lex Luger. Don't watch Lex Luger when he was wrestling in jeans.
Yeah.
Watch early Lex. Which one?
For sure.
You say what?
Man. We're no DDP though, man.
Okay, so look, real quick, shout out to my son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Landon, because first of all, his birthday was the other day. Happy 6th birthday. But fam, like, you know, your son, like my son has been watching Punch Out on YouTube.
Okay.
And I put the Nintendo joint on his on his Switch, because he watches Punch Out.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever played an old game and realized how difficult this bitch really was, and you start to amaze yourself? Because low-key Punch Out was a little difficult than a motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
Especially as you like get to the other joints. I realized how long it took me to get past like them first joints. So he just came over here and was like, I can't beat Von Kaiser.
Yeah.
You beat Von Kaiser for me. Hey, he's number 2.
Oh.
So he's not. So when he fights Piston Honda, that's a wrap. He's gonna come down here and bug me all day long because he can't beat this nigga. So now I got to beat Von Kaiser so he can lose to Piston Honda and shit. That's what dads do.
Yeah, man. Hey, no, it's hey, that's real. Hey, listen, I never beat Mike Tyson Punch Out the right way. Like I never started from Glass Joe to get to Tyson. I never beat the game that way.
Like, how did you beat the game?
When you know when they have the code when you can like get right to Mike Tyson.
No.
Yeah, there was some code. I think it was the homie Marquise. I forgot. And truth be told, keeping it more of a buck. I didn't really beat Mike Tyson either. I gave the stick up, and the homie beat him. But I got to see the end of the game.
Did to me. Just like what he just did to me. There you go. Yeah, I beat him. I beat Von Kaiser for you.
One of the goals I do need to revisit as an adult is beat the Mike Tyson Punch Out, because I never beat the game like the real way. I never beat it.
Well, if you get a Nintendo Switch and get the Nintendo Online, they got Punch Out and a whole bunch of other. I'm probably gonna give me a Switch.
Yeah.
Just because
there's a lot of games I probably have enough patience to try now. Like I mean, hey, look. Truth be told, hey, look, I never beat the first Super Mario World. I never beat it.
Oh, Mario World or Mario Brothers?
Shit, both. Shit.
You never beat Mario 1?
No. I listen. You give me about 3 to 5 tries on that, and then I'm going outside on my bike. I don't have time. I was just like, yo, this shit hard as fuck. And then I almost broke. I was through the control. I was broken. I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Fam. Yeah, you know, and we have like codes and shit on Mario Brothers where you go back to where you start. Like you cut the game off, you got to start all the fuck over.
Yes, and 8 hours was enough for me.
I don't think kids really realize like playing games and beating games back in the day was like a full-time job.
Yeah, for sure. Like the memory card was such a game changer.
Man.
Like, because I was
I can start at board 8 instead of starting all the way over. Oh, thank God. Oh my. Thank you, Lord. Like for real. But that's gonna be another conversation for another day. Sting versus Vader. How is this going in this when it comes to WCW?
In real life, we know the vibes, but in bracket life, it's Sting.
And Lex Luger versus Goldberg. This has got to be Goldberg, correct?
Anytime we can eliminate Goldberg, I'm for it. So I mean, and if we got to go back to get DDP to this round to make sure Goldberg loses, I'm with that too.
But we go give it to Goldberg here And
Okay.
then we got Sting winning this joint right here.
For sure.
Now, let's go. Now, so Sting went. Look, the franchise.
Yeah.
The franchise. So you already know the vibes there. It's the franchise. And, hey, there's nobody else to choose at this point when it comes to that, except for when Ric Flair, y'all choose Ric Flair. Macho Man over Ric Flair. I'll never forgive y'all. I'll never forgive y'all for this. I'll never forgive y'all for this.
But you will, though. Like, because that's really your pick. That's really your pick.
It's not. It's really not my pick. It's really not my pick. Like, I feel y'all, though. I feel you, but I don't feel y'all. But I feel y'all. All right, so the last one is the new generation stars. So, matter of fact, let me ask this question here. Because the Undertaker's in this bracket. Should the Undertaker be in this bracket, or should he be in the Attitude Era bracket?
Man, see what's difficult about this is that
Tell Trey.
The Undertaker is a part of all these eras. Like the debut was 91, years before the Attitude Era. He's the Prince of Darkness during then. But then he's a whole different character during the Ruthless Aggression era and the 2000s. Yeah. So really, the Undertaker is in this very unique space where he can be in any era and it makes sense. The only one that he shouldn't be in is like Mark Callis, mean Mark Callis in WCW in the 80s. That's the only one that he shouldn't be in. So I'm not going to say he don't belong here because shit, after he became the Prince of Darkness and sacrificed Stephanie McMahon, or at least tried to, on national TV, and was burning teddy bears and what have you.
Oh, wait a minute! You beat Pistol Honda? Oh shit, my nigga!
He ended up becoming the American Badass.
While I try to beat Don Flamingo and shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so the Undertaker, he ended up becoming the American Badass and Big Evil, and that's 2000 to 2003. The other reason why I believe that you could put him in this era is like, yeah, sure, he had the battles with Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan, and Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels and all that. But new generation. Speaking of, who gets Jeff Hardy over? Who was the guy whose respect you had to win to be somebody in the business? That's the Undertaker. RVD, like everything that you're pointing to from 2000 to 2006, it all revolves around the Undertaker and his opinion. Literally, like it's his opinion, like it's his wrestling acumen, it's his character, but literally there's a moment in time that's not brief. There's a moment in time where how you are in this business depends on what the Undertaker thinks about you. So that's why I'm not mad at him being in the new generation stars.
I'm not mad at it either, because he was putting people in body bags. He almost got stabbed. He won the championship.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not hard, man. It's Don Flamingo. You just got to hit Don Flamingo and then dodge and then hit him with the uppercuts, fam. See, look. Oh, you got him tired. God damn. What I was about to say, yeah, Undertaker's like all eras, so I agree with you. So with that being said, you gotta go put it on the charger, go upstairs. Some people that I already put up in there that we know is going to be that Bret Hart over Doink the Clown. He beat him in that, he beat him in life.
Yeah.
The Undertaker over Marty Jannetty, he puts him in the body bag.
Easy.
Rick Martel over Shawn Michaels. They infamously wrestled and didn't want to hit each other's faces. But Shawn Michaels, of course, for the new generation.
Yeah, okay.
Lex Luger's back on this list. And it's very interesting that his opponent here is Davey Boy Smith.
And I'm definitely going Davey Boy Smith. Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, this ain't British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith. This is just solo British Bulldog. Yeah. This is British Bulldog versus Bret Hart.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Okay. Yeah, British Bulldog with the micro braids was special.
And on crack.
You know what I'm saying? With the beads. He had micro braids and beads and was smoking crack.
Wild. That is still one of the wildest things that I like, to know that he was like a full-blown, to know that some of these wrestlers was full-blown drug addicts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's crazy. Diesel versus Jeff Jarrett. Is this as easy as I think this is?
No, but I am gonna go Diesel though. It's not as easy. Because you could make a case for Jeff Jarrett because this is new generation stars. So they're not limiting him to WWE or WCW. And
Okay.
but I forgot who said it, but they were like Jeff Jarrett went out there every night, broke 1,000 guitars and couldn't pack out the house. So
there you go. Bam Bam Bigelow, who main evented a WrestleMania, or Razor Ramon, multiple Intercontinental Champion, best vignettes in the history of the WWE.
As bad as I want to really put over Bam Bam Bigelow right now, I can't. And the guy in parentheses, Scott Hall too. Yeah.
Bam Bam Bigelow to me is one of the biggest what ifs in WWE history.
Yeah, that's fair.
We might have to do an episode on that one day. Owen Hart versus Tatanka.
Come on now.
There we go.
Hey,
look.
Yeah, you already know what to put there.
Yokozuna versus Psycho Sid.
Most difficult bracket in this whole joint right here. Because Yokozuna at the Royal Rumble versus Psycho Sid at Survivor Series. Nah, you know what? Because we're gonna keep it a buck, right? Sid Vicious. As much as look, okay. As much as I want to give it to the original tribal chief, I can't, dog.
Wow.
Sid Vicious was also in the Four Horsemen, not Sid Justice. Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious was in the Four Horsemen, and we watched him beat the old man with a camera, and we cheered.
He's a multiple-time world champion.
Yes.
At this point in time, he also, the Hulk Hogan aspect. He main evented WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
He main evented WrestleMania with The Undertaker. He main evented multiple pay-per-views with Diesel and Shawn Michaels. I would pick Sid Vicious on this one too.
Yeah. I mean, hey, had Yokozuna stayed at 505 or less, I would have gave it to him. But unfortunately, by the time he's tagging up with Owen Hart, and if you've ever seen his story just after the WWF at the time, it's tragic, bro. It's tragic. Meanwhile, unfortunately, obviously he just lost his life. But the only really major misstep to me that Sid ever had was breaking his leg in the ring off that second rope.
Yeah. All right, we got Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog. I think we already know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Crack is whack.
Yeah. We'll go Bret.
Diesel versus Razor Ramon, though.
Hey, just like in real life. And in real life, I'm going Razor Ramon.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm going Razor Ramon. Salute, though. Because the Diamond Stud was also better than Vinny Vegas and Oz. Shit.
Hey. I disagree with you, but I'm not mad at the pick. And the only reason why I disagree with you is because the world champion aspect. And plus he went home with Jenny McCarthy and Pamela Anderson.
That's true.
WrestleMania 11.
That's true. Beat stats
but Razor Ramon is the most, is the cooler character to me.
Yeah.
And on this one, I have to go with the cooler character. I'm going to go with Razor Ramon here too.
Hey, there we go. Hey, Hall versus Nash, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Undertaker versus Owen Hart. Unfortunately, I got to go with, I got to put my man down. I am somebody on this podcast who has said that Owen Hart should have been a world champ. He should have got the world championship at SummerSlam against Bret Hart, and then they ran that bitch back at WrestleMania. They didn't do that shit. That should have been your world championship match at WrestleMania. What was that? At WrestleMania, what, 11?
Yeah, 11, yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is on that one. Sid Vicious and Shawn Michaels. Of course, it's Shawn Michaels here.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, but look how this is panning out. Hey, all this happened in real life.
Man. Now here we go. Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. Bret.
Yeah, we'll still go Bret. That's fair. So
but
Bret.
The Undertaker or Shawn Michaels?
Look, man. I'm gonna go Shawn Michaels. That's me. Picking the Undertaker is not the wrong answer either, though. And hey, listen, I'm picking Shawn Michaels, and First Black Champ Podcast is the first podcast of wrestling ever that told y'all that Shawn Michaels should never be considered Mr. WrestleMania because of the Undertaker. Like, we started that conversation in 2017. And I'm still telling you, it's Shawn Michaels. Why is it Shawn Michaels? Because for me, that is potentially the greatest rags to riches wrestling story that I never saw coming. You can't tell me that the first time you saw you seen that blonde head white boy come out there that you thought he would end up being in DX, that he would end up being he would go over on Bret Hart at WrestleMania, that he would then go on to have Philippians on his chest and be regarded as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time before his career was even done. So I'm going to pick Shawn Michaels because I can't think of a better internal rags to riches wrestling story than Shawn Michaels.
This is difficult because the Undertaker was the scariest nigga in the world at this time.
Yeah.
And when we talking about new generation, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, man, you are talking about that early 93 shit to the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Undertaker was that nigga. But Shawn Michaels became that at WrestleMania, what, 14?
14, yeah.
No, 12. 12 did the Iron Man match.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, because that's a 12, 13, then 14.
He had already main evented like 2 WrestleManias at that point. So I'm going to give it to Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. And now we have, this again, this is new generation era.
Mm-hmm.
This is new generation era, y'all. Are we taking Bret or are we taking Shawn?
Hey. Again, there are no wrong answers. They both got parallel careers in a lot of respects. But again, for me, I am going to go Shawn Michaels. I'm going to go Shawn Michaels. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah. Gotta go Shawn Michaels. For me, I got to go Shawn Michaels. Respect to Bret Hart. All the respect in the world to Bret Hart. But I got to go Shawn Michaels.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one, too.
Let's go.
All because that little white boy, he turned around, Bret. That motherfucker Bret turned around with the shades. I got to disagree with you on this one. I'm going Bret. So we got to put this one in the chat, too.
Yeah.
Are we going Bret or are we going Shawn?
Brett or Shawn? I mean, shoot. Hey, listen. It makes sense because the Hart Foundation was better than the Rockers. But again, man, hey, was that 93 to 95 Shawn Michaels? Hey, listen, but
this nigga was the greatest. He was the greatest white man at the world during this time, Ken.
Hey, I get it. Hey,
Bret Hart was top
Super Canada
3 black white guy.
Hey, when Bret Hart was Captain Canada, that might have been some of the best work of his life. Captain Canada, and he was out there limping most with crutches, and he was doing some of the greatest shit there was. But me, hey, look, man, I just always just gravitated towards Shawn Michaels. I love the vulgarity and the athleticism. I'm sorry. Like that's me. That's me. But Bret, hey, picking Bret Hart is not, I'm actually not mad. But I'm picking Shawn Michaels.
Man,
back-to-back WrestleMania, bell to bell WrestleMania. I mean,
Royal
Rumbles.
Orlando got Bret Hart.
Hey, that just like he picked Macho, now he picked Bret. It's Bret. I gotta bow out. But hey, but remember, I just want y'all to remember, the Royal Rumble was the Royal Rumble, but then Shawn Michaels started winning the Royal Rumble. That's all I want to say. Yeah, after Flair, after Yokozuna, after Hogan, then Shawn Michaels started winning the Royal Rumble, and the shit ain't been the same since.
Look, I'm still going Bret.
Okay, all right, for sure.
I'm still going Bret here. All right, so here's the final four, y'all.
All right,
here's the final four. We're gonna talk about this next week.
Okay,
Sting versus Steve Austin. Hulk Hogan versus Bret Hart.
Wow, just the way they want it too. just the way
AI wanted it. Just the way AI wanted it. We're gonna talk about this next week on the pod. Who is going to win the FBC AI March Madness joint?
Yeah,
one of those four.
Shout out to Jasper.
Shouts out to Jasper. He got us. Yeah. That's your final four, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go there. All right, before we get out of here, a couple of quick joints right here. Let me go ahead and cue that music. Do we care? All right. So Lyra Valkyria is going to be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Bayley, but she's also going to be tagging with Bayley in the women's tag team gauntlet. The winner takes on Raquel Gonzalez and Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. Do we care about this tag team gauntlet?
No. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I'm sorry. No. The solo match is already more fire. So.
Hey, and first of all, I've realized how you beat King Hippo again in Punch Out.
Yeah, you gotta wait till you gotta hit the tape.
You gotta wait till you try to hit the boom and then hit him and then boom. I remembered how to do it. I forgot how to do this motherfucking shit. It's been years since I played this motherfucker.
No thanks.
It looks like it's going to be a fatal four-way for the men's Intercontinental Championship. Do you care about Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio?
Only if Dominic Mysterio comes out the winner.
Is that a guarantee?
Yeah, actually, it is. My guarantee is that Dominic Mysterio wins the Intercontinental Championship, and he defects from the Judgment Day as a faction, but it's still him, Liv, Raquel, and Carlito. That is 3 Latins and a white girl, much like you see in real life.
Hey man, the Great Tiger is the nigga. Hey, I boxed Great Tiger when I was a shorty and cried because I couldn't beat this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's usually where I tap out right there.
That motherfucker, he did the step back and then the doo-doo shit. Yeah, nah, I Landon, you might have to crown that shit because I can't beat this motherfucker. Jacob Fatu is officially the #1 contender for the United States Championship, and they're going to be wrestling at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So the mid-card belts are going to be on full display at WrestleMania. Do we care about Jacob versus LA Knight? Yeah.
No, we don't care about that, but we do care about Jacob Fatu being at WrestleMania.
I only care about this match is if he wins the United States Championship. I don't care about this match if Solo Sikoa costs him the belt. That would be bullshit. Yeah. I ain't got time for it. Let's go ahead and get that belt off of LA Knight and give it to Jacob Fatu, your new United States Championship. In fact, that is my guarantee as well.
Let's go.
Once they put him up in that match, it was like, okay, that's it. We're cooking with gas here.
For sure.
There we go right there. All right, any other guarantees from you?
You know what? No guarantees. But I do want to say this though. Salute to Naomi and Jade Cargill. As a person that's been extremely critical of Jade Cargill as a wrestler, I want to say that segment with them that ended with both of them going to WrestleMania and wrestling each other, and it's not for the belt, but it's still like focal point. I don't care if it's night 1 or night 2. And I love the fact that even as Jade pointed to the WrestleMania sign, obviously Naomi's in character, but you could just tell they broke kayfabe for like a half a second, and you could see the look on their faces like, bitch, we did it. And that is that's just amazing. That's awesome to see. I mean, no disrespect to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, because that still was a moment that it is. But I think the impact of a Jade Cargill versus Naomi is going to hit harder than that match per se.
Yeah, I like the build up between Jade and Naomi better than the Women's World Championship on the same show.
Yeah, there too.
And yeah, I did feel like they was like it was definitely like, we did it, bitch. We got it. We did it. Now, I was going to talk about Randy Orton and Kevin Owens and the Kevin Owens neck thing. Man, I want to wait one more week.
Yeah.
Just want to wait one more week. I want to wait to see if this is really.
Yeah, that means you feel like the way I feel then.
I'm not so sure, but I want to wait. I want to wait one more week before we dissect this. Because either we're dissecting how fucked up it is that we're not going to see Kevin Owens for some time, or hey, this was a hell of a swerve. But also, if it's fucked up, is Sami Zayn going to take Kevin Owens' place? You got my friend up out of here. Now it's time for me to get you up out of here type shit. So that's why we're going to wait. So, man, Camp, close us out.
Man, what a show, man. What an amazing show. No matter what your favorite wrestler is, man, we appreciate y'all, checking out the bracket challenge, you know what I'm saying, in the true spirit of March Madness and whatever have you, even though it's April. But it's still WrestleMania season. We talk wrestling here, and that's what we do like nobody else, man. And we want to thank y'all for tuning into this episode this week and every week. And no matter when you decide, we appreciate you, you with your comments, your likes, your shares, rumor, innuendo posts, questions, funny things, crazy things, and just wild takes. about your favorite or non-favorite wrestler, man, hey, listen, it's always greatly appreciated. Obviously, Bang and I can do the show without all of the input, but all of you and all of your contributions, whether you feel they are big or small, are what make the FBC community what it is. And for that, we sincerely and humbly thank you. So if you ever want to talk about wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Pick, VP, DOC, and we are out. Yep. Fuck Johnny Wrestling.